Washington Grown is brought to you by the Potato Farmers of Washington. Learn why Washington is home to the world's most productive potato fields and farmers by visiting potatoes.com. And by the Washington State Department of Agriculture, supporting the viability and vitality of Washington agriculture. And by Northwest Farm Credit Services, supporting agriculture and rural communities with reliable, consistent credit and financial services today and tomorrow.
Hi everyone, I'm Christy Goranson and welcome to Washington Grown. There's a special partnership between farmers and farm workers, and they both depend on each other for their livelihood and success. In this episode, we'll explore that relationship and learn why it's important to all of us. Tomas is picking cherries at M&A Orchards.
Oh, lost one.
Oh,
that'll happen. I'm fired.
That's money down the drain.
Then I'm making a potato apple gratin at Provisions in Yakima.
I always say there's no calories when you eat out.
Yeah, it's just fun food.
Okay.
It doesn't count. Plus, I'm visiting Domex Super Fresh in the Yakima Valley.
We want this to be an enjoyable work experience. We're a team here.
All this and more today on Washington Grown. It's hard when you're as short as I am.
Sheep, come and see Christy, sheep. Sheep.
Chana
It's like I can taste the sunshine.
Cheers. Bring him in. Bring him in. Boom.
The calories are adding up.
No calories in this.
You don't get to do this every day.
Yakima is home to some incredible produce, and here at Provisions Restaurant and Market, they're taking full advantage of the bounty of the region. Whether it's something new on the menu or one of the tried and true classics, everything here is fresh, fun, and full of flavor.
It's such an innovative menu, and it's always changing, and it's always different. There's something for everybody. They have gluten-free dishes, they have pizzas, they have like seafood and steak.
There's plenty of selection here all the time.
We have a farmer's market in our backyard every day.
General Manager and Executive Chef Lindsay Park grew up in Yakima, surrounded by farm fresh food. She carries that with her today, using produce from the area to create a menu that's as fresh as the region.
We have local farmers bringing by mushrooms and berries,
Right.
peaches and apricots and tomatoes.
It doesn't get any more local.
No, and it was really interesting working in Seattle. I'd see boxes of produce and things come in, and I'm like, oh, I know that farmer. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy lives down the street or whatever.
Here we are in this agricultural community, and so everything that we eat is fresh and straight from the farm. The food is really innovative and different and new, and it's always good.
Yeah, we love it here.
I used to try and explain that apples are different in Yakima than they are in Seattle or wherever you are. And it finally took me bringing apples back to my roommates and going, here, take a bite, and just juice just everywhere. And I'm like, there's the difference.
Yeah.
Like right there, you get that.
Don't miss later in the show when Chef Lindsay and I make a special potato apple gratin. The calories are adding up.
No calories in this dish at all.
It's not often you get to eat cherries as beautiful and sweet as these. Today we're up north, almost to the Canadian border, in the town of Oroville at M&A Orchards, talking to an orchardist who has a very unique story.
So I'm Flor Maldonado. I am an orchardist, and right now we are in Oroville, Washington.
Flor's family began as farm workers. Her parents and 9 siblings worked in orchards until one day they found a unique opportunity to take it one step further.
They were about ready to go back to Mexico because they weren't making much money. They had 10 kids that they were raising. Not that many, right? 7 brothers, 2 sisters.
Mexican Catholic families?
Yep.
No, that's nothing.
Yep. Then they found a newspaper ad saying that the FSA was doing subsidized farm loans
Okay.
for first-time farmers, and they drove north. Kept going north, and we ended up in Tonasket. Parents kicked us out the door, made sure we all went to college.
Okay.
I went to WSU, studied ag. My parents thought I was crazy. They wanted me to be a doctor, which I thought I was gonna be a doctor, until I realized, you know what, I love this lifestyle. No, we're not gonna be rich, but it's the quality of life that you're really trading for. Usually we can make a decent amount of money with cherries, They are, however, a gamble.
This summer has been unusually hot for the Pacific Northwest, and that heat causes problems with the cherry harvest.
They're delicate. If it rains and then the sun comes out, they can split open, you lose your crop. If you have rain years and there's a big windstorm, you lose your crop. There's a lot of ways you can lose your crop.
Right. The heat that we had last week.
Yeah, so that's why, so we're picking for processors, what you guys saw today. Those varieties usually would have been a fresh market. We weren't able to do that. If you look at the borders, we skipped some trees because they're just completely fried. They're like little craisins on there, which is what it is. It sucks, but there's always next year. That's farming.
True. Although Flor did lose a little bit of her crop, there are still some incredible cherries to pick to send to processors.
These are gonna go to processing, but I wanna show you how to pick them properly.
Right.
You said properly.
Yeah, because I don't want to mess it up.
Processing, you kind of just yank them off. You grab the stem and you kind of pull it up a little bit, then you get that.
I want to see you go. You see how fast the orchardist moves.
Then you wanna leave the, last one.
Oh, that's it.
That'll happen. I'm fired.
That's money down the drain.
So you're doing pretty good, struggling a little.
It's kind of in my blood, honestly.
Yeah? Yeah. Second nature.
Yeah, I think so. Except I just dropped it as I said
I wasn't
that.
gonna say anything.
Yeah, you
I
can.
wasn't gonna say anything.
So let's go get these sorted before I tear up the rest of your orchard.
All right.
All right, so these guys just got picked off the tree, and these are going where?
They'll be going to Pasco for some processing.
Okay.
Some ice cream, pies, all that fun stuff.
Anything that's cherry flavored, that's what these are gonna be for.
Correct, maybe even some cherry juice. So right now, we are looking to get all of these little
Craisins out.
The
of
little
there.
craisins out of there. They
Okay.
don't want that. Yeah, so like this one's already all squashed up in juice. Like,
So you'll get rid of that one.
yeah, no, especially like the ripe, darker color ones. You know
look
that's
at
gonna
that.
be sweet.
Yeah.
That's packed with sugar right there.
Why is this area so awesome for cherries and apples and pears?
Yeah, it's land of 4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
We get the cold winters and the warm summers, and it usually doesn't get scorching hot like it did this summer, and it's just great soil.
As labor becomes more and more difficult to find, Flor's thinking ahead to what the future of farming might look like.
I think we'll see a lot more robots in the future, and our farm workers are going to become IT pros.
They're going to be engineers.
Yeah, they're going to
and
be engineers.
Computer scientists.
Yep, they say a farmer's all of those things. Farm workers are about to become all of those things as well.
Hey, let's go. All right, everybody, I am here in Yakima, Washington, my hometown, and as a result of that, I've had my fair share of pretty good burgers, but Majors came along and kind of changed the game. Was that fair to say?
I think so.
You think so?
I think that's pretty fair. We do almost everything fresh. Nothing comes out of a freezer and dropped in. Everything made for you as you order.
And fresh off the menu, a hometown favorite, Yakima Valley grown battered asparagus.
It's been a big deal. So we trim it. It's in a ½ pound, and then we use our secret batter and we put it in and cook it for you, and then that's pretty much it.
That simple, huh?
It's pretty simple.
All right, I gotta try some of this for myself.
Wow. First off, that batter is amazing. It's got such a good salty flavor. It is that fresh pop of asparagus you get right out of the field. This is amazing. Wow.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Now, let's see what the regulars and majors think.
That is very good.
Sweet but tangy too at the same time, kind of creamy.
Yeah, I like it really well.
What do you like about it?
It's deep fried.
It's deep fried.
Crispy, tender on the inside. Just really, really good.
This is nice and light and seasoned perfectly.
Yeah.
Delicious.
How many pounds of cherries fit into one of these lugs? You'll find out after this commercial break.
Coming up, I'm making a potato apple gratin at Provisions.
The calories are adding up. No calories in this dish at all.
And we're in the kitchen at Second Harvest trying out some apple clafoutis.
The workers will typically carry one of these lugs in a harness, which can weigh up to 25 pounds when full.
We're back at Provisions in Yakima. A relaxed atmosphere, diverse menu, and delicious food all come together to make this restaurant a fan favorite for this community.
This is a newer restaurant and it's great for Yakima. Everybody in town loves it.
The restaurant's full right now, and it's Wednesday night at 5:30.
We just love the food here.
And always top notch.
To me, this place feels like a kind of oasis and a little getaway, right?
Right. But we wanted that for Yakima. We wanted that
Yeah.
for this community. We wanted to provide that space that that encompassed everything that's great about Yakima.
General Manager and Executive Chef Lindsay Park grew up in the area, working in Seattle before coming back to start the restaurant she'd always wanted to see in her hometown.
Whether it's agriculture and the crops that we get in and the seasonal vegetables and whatnot, or the growers. We just really wanted to provide a space that was just comfortable and you just kind of felt like it was a little getaway, but you were still in home and you were still in your community and things like that.
Everything here is good.
Farm to table, very fresh. They try to use local ingredients. It's really gourmet food in a down-home atmosphere.
So you're going to make something special for us today that's not on your menu?
Not on our menu,
okay.
No. Apples and potatoes, two of our big crops coming out of the valley. And so we're going to do a potato and apple gratin. It's great comfort food.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it can go with anything, which is awesome. Chicken, steak, whatever. So
can't wait.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Some of Washington's darlings, apples and potatoes, right? You know, a lot of people think of apples as being like a dessert kind of thing, but this is a savory, like,
correct,
warm you up kind of meal.
This goes with anything. It goes with a steak, it goes with roasted chicken.
Lindsay starts slicing some Cosmic Crisp apples while I cut up some brie cheese. Then we put the apples down in a layer and start slicing some potatoes.
These are russet potatoes, but you can also use Yukons or Reds. It really doesn't matter. You just want that starch from that raw potato.
Next, we lay down a layer of brie cheese and then another layer of apples and potatoes. So what's one of your favorite items on the menu?
Our Brussels sprouts are so fun. We go through about 100 pounds of Brussels sprouts a day.
I love it.
They're fried really crispy, and then we toss them in a sweet chili and soy kind of glaze with some brown sugar bacon.
Oh my gosh. You
So
could
get
do
this
this with that and just be
Right?
like in heaven. Now it's time for the sauce.
This is an apple and onion cream sauce.
Wow, it smells amazing.
When I first did it, you roasted a chicken in the sauce.
Okay.
And then you had lemon
So it's
and
like
you
a
had apple
stock
and all this stuff, and then blended it together and made this fantastic sauce. So
delicious. We'll have this sauce recipe on our website at wagron.com so people can learn how to make that. It sounds pretty simple.
It is really simple.
Yeah. Finally, we top it all off with some Parmesan cheese. The calories are adding up.
No calories in this dish at all.
Yeah, right.
I always say there's no calories when you eat out. It takes the pressure off of it, right?
It's just fun food.
Okay.
Doesn't count. This is good comfort food.
All right, so let's get it in the oven. We'll go from there.
We cook the dish for about an hour until finally our gratin is finished. That is so good. There's just like a hint of sweetness in there, but you would never say, oh, I'm eating apples.
And everything holds up really well. You get that texture, you get that bite. It's not like mush. That chicken cream.
Yeah, the sauce that you put on it.
Apple and onion sauce just kind of ties everything together. It adds that extra little element of sweetness with the apples.
That is so delicious. With apples and potatoes. Great.
Two things in our backyard, right?
To get the recipe for provisions, potato, and apple gratin, visit wagron.com. If you've ever driven through the Yakima Valley, odds are you've seen row after row of apple trees. Chances are many of these orchards are owned and operated by Domex Superfresh, a family-owned operation producing fruits we love throughout the Northwest. You guys are big.
We're big.
Yeah.
We're big.
Catherine Gipe Stewart is the communications manager at Superfresh Growers. Today, she's showing us exactly what they do at one of their orchards.
We're fifth generation family owned.
Awesome.
We now have orchards all over the Pacific Northwest. Apples, pears, cherries, apricots, blueberries, and kiwi berries.
With an operation of over 30,000 acres, having enough workers is crucial to production. As time goes on, finding local workers is becoming more difficult.
Domestic workforce is aging out. You know, baby boomers are retiring. The younger generations are becoming more skilled, more educated, and that workforce is going to become more technicians. So we're going to be relying a lot on our domestic workforce to get those skills. We're currently working on an H2A program.
So H2A, what does that mean?
So H2A is a temporary agricultural worker program. It's non-immigrant. Superfresh Growers does a 4-month max contract. We have a lot of employees who are really family-centered. And 4 months allows them to have plenty of family time, but have an opportunity to also come up and make some good money as well here in the United States.
Yeah. Christopher Marquez is an H2A worker from Durango, Mexico. In this orchard, he's thinning apple trees, a process that removes clusters of fruit and gives those remaining room to grow nice and large. After watching Christopher do it, I tried my hand at it.
Oh, whoops.
Another try. It happens.
To Christopher, working here in Washington means more than just having a good job. Are you happy that you're here in Washington?
There's a lot of us Mexicans down in Mexico that are wanting to come up here. So we're really glad and blessed that we're over here.
Do you have a goal for your future?
Yes, get our better life down in Mexico. So what we earn here 3 to 4 months helps us feed our family over there 3-4 months.
A large percentage of our agriculture system has come to rely on the H2A program. Domex, like many farms, tries to go above and beyond for their staff, offering educational experience, better wages, and high-quality housing.
We're able to call the shots when we're family-owned and really make sure that we take care of our farm workers. It really takes a team, and that's really important for us. Anytime we'll have 100 to a couple hundred in this area, but up to 4,000 throughout the state throughout the year. So we have 6 rooms in this house, 4 people per room. You can see 6 fridges. So each room is kind of
each room has their own.
We have fully air-conditioned, Wi-Fi.
How do you like it?
Everything in the homes, everything's beautiful. Co-workers, supervisors, managers treat us very well.
This is home for about 4 months.
Yeah.
We want this to be an enjoyable work experience. We're a team here. It takes everyone to harvest this huge crop that we have. We want them to feel that importance and feel like they're heard as well.
Coming up, Val's visiting a cosmic crisp orchard.
Look at that. That's what we want. We want the juice to run down.
Trees are wonderful to grow in your backyard. They provide you with shade, and if you plant fruit trees, they provide you with something to eat. But you want to make sure that you're taking care of your tree the best you possibly can. All modern trees, basically, if you purchase it at a nursery, are grafted. You'll see on the tree they have a scar line where you have the original rootstock and then the grafted scion that's on the tree. Now this is a great place to watch to make sure that nothing is happening with your tree that would need a professional to come in and take care of it. If you have sprouts coming out around the base of your tree, that means that there's something wrong with the graft on your tree. So that's something that would need to be diagnosed to make sure that nothing's happening as far as the mating of those 2 trees. Now, who do you get to take a look at that? You want to look for somebody who's an ISA certified arborist, and that's an international standard. They're very well educated, they go through rigorous testing, and they would be the person that you would want to call. When you plant your tree, you want to make sure that you can see a visible root flare. At the base of your tree, you should be able to see the top of the roots of your tree. Now this allows for some airflow. Trees require water and air for health. Trees require water, not as much as your lawn, so you want to just make sure that you're watering your tree about once a week. You want to make sure that you're soaking the area that the canopy covers. On a day like today where it's super hot, it's so enjoyable to stand in the shade of my tree. It's something that will last for years to come, and if you care for it well, it'll be a legacy in your backyard.
There's a lot that goes into growing our delicious Washington fruit, and research is a huge piece of the puzzle. Today, I'm in an orchard in Zillah to learn how the Washington Tree Fruit Research Commission is helping Washington growers produce the best fruit in the world.
We're kind of this in-between between scientists, the grower community, and businesses, all with the goal of helping to create solutions for growers so they can maintain profitable businesses.
Inez Hanrahan is the executive director of the commission. As an orchardist herself, she provides the perfect balance of researcher and grower.
I grew up farming, I understand plants. Also, I have been working in orchards for the past 20 years. I think this gives me a big advantage because I also have the science background, so I feel like I have the best of both worlds and I'm kind of the perfect conduit to bring everybody together.
Now we're taking a walk through her cherry orchard. Research has allowed her to grow this block of the orchard in a special way, creating easier harvest and better fruit quality.
We have here a tree where we have these uprights that grow up, and all of the fruit is basically hanging on this upright offshoot, and they're all, as you can tell, easily, right, accessible. They're basically literally almost falling into your bag.
So everything's like right in front of you, and you can just reach out and pick.
Yes.
Now we're headed down to the Cosmic Crisp Orchard. Work done by the Tree Fruit Research Commission helped get this apple into the hands of consumers.
We actually decided to start an apple breeding program in the mid-90s because the growers wanted to have an apple that was better adapted for our growing climate. The Tree Fruit Research Commission funded this breeding program for 20 years, and the apple was released and is such a success. So it now gives back actually to the university, to the grower community. Basically, we provided 20 years of startup funding, and now they're on their own and everybody profits from it. Throughout its storage life, it has really good flavor. So every time a consumer gets one, they have a really good eating experience, which is ultimately what we want.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we want. We want the juice to run down.
It's like I can taste the sunshine.
This is a place where you can send your kids, where they will have a good future. Sign them up for ag degrees, sign them up for engineering degrees and robotics. It's a great way to bring together all different sciences.
We are in the kitchen at Second Harvest in Spokane, where we are tasting some recipes from allrecipes.com, and I have my taste testers with me today. I have Tomas.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being here, and Chef Laurent. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you both.
You
hello,
as well.
Tomas. Hello, Christy.
Yeah, and you, Chef, you've had some restaurants over your long career as a chef, and now you're teaching to culinary students, right?
I am a chef instructor at Spokane Community College in their culinary program, and just a new experience for me, and I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some French lessons today. Apple in French is
Pomme.
That's it.
P-O-M-M-E.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, right?
That's easy to remember.
So today, the recipe, another French lesson that we are going to do, apple clafoutis.
Perfectly pronounced.
Clafoutis. Yes, thank
Christy.
you.
Clafoutis, yes, it's a very old country-style dish, dessert that your grandma used to make, because it's a mix of ingredients, and you just basically throw them in a pan and in the oven. So it's a very convenient, very easy dessert to make. It's quite pretty also.
And can you make it with other fruit other than
apples? So the
or?
traditional way is a cherry clafoutis, and that's very traditional. But the apple is a great one too. Pear, plum.
So really,
all sorts of fruit. Yes.
I love it. So this is by Yoli. Clafoutis is a French dessert that combines fresh fruit and custard. And just like a souffle, it rises beautifully and then it deflates once it's cooled. It's best made in a cast iron skillet, but any oven-proof skillet will work. And then you sprinkle a little powdered sugar on just before serving. Yeah,
sounds great.
Sounds really good.
Dessert time.
So apple clafoutis. Here's how you make it. so beautiful.
Yes, it does.
So rustic.
It is rustic.
Yeah.
It's country food.
Yeah.
It's a very old school country style food.
Beautiful, and I love the layers that you have here.
Oh, wow.
Those apples are so tender.
The traditional recipe, you add a touch of alcohol into the batter.
I like how
really
light
good.
the custard is.
Yeah, it's really light.
Very smooth, and the apple still retains a little bit of their crunch. They're not mushy.
Yeah,
You know?
the apples are great. Charlotte says, this is so delicious. I did not peel the apples because the peelings have nutrients.
Well, and if you keep the skins on the apple too, it adds a lot of color. You know, especially if you're using a red skinned apple, you know, keeping it on there, not only does it add for the nutrient factor, but that color will pop.
Yeah, we would love to see your creative ideas on this apple clafoutis. Maybe you want to do a cherry clafoutis or something else. So just make the recipe, post it on our social media channels, Facebook and Instagram, tag Washington Grown, and we would love to see your creations. So check it out.
Brings me back to my childhood.
Yes.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah.
want this recipe, make sure you go to our website at wagrown.com. We're thankful for farmers and the farm workers all over the state. And because of their special relationship, we get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. That's it for this episode of Washington Grown. We'll see you next time.